Did you know there's a peak hot dog season? Yeah, it runs from Memorial Day to Labor Day, and according to the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, which is a real thing, Americans put down an average of 7 billion hot dogs during that period. So, since it is the season, today on CityCast Las Vegas, we revisit a conversation Dayvid Figler had with food writer Brent Holmes to give you the lowdown on the best spots around town to snag yourself a snappy beef wrangler. It's Thursday, June 11th. I'm Jesse Merrick, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about.
All right, Brent, let's start with the hardest question first. You're a philosopher king who loves his food. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes, David, a hot dog is a sandwich.
Okay, let's move on then. No, you got to explain. Show your work, sir.
Okay, here's my thing. I know it comes in a bun or on a roll, quote unquote, but to say a hot dog is not a sandwich, which to my mind, a sandwich would be defined as bread wrapped around, a helping of meat or vegetables that are seasoned, possibly cooked or cold. That is all that is required for a sandwich to exist. If you were to take
a calzone is a sandwich in your mind.
Yes, so is a dumpling, but we're not going to go there today, Dave. That's not what we're doing right now, bro.
No, we're going to talk about all the really good hot dogs in
dogs.
Town. All right,
Yeah.
Just need to know if it was a sandwich or not. Man, it's one of those perpetual questions of the ages.
I will go to war over this.
I love how you answered so quick and no hesitation.
There's not a single hesitation in my mind that a hot dog is definitely a sandwich. Anybody that says a hot dog isn't a sandwich refutes that then a hoagie is a sandwich. If a hot dog's not a sandwich, then a Subway sandwich is not a sandwich because they are the same exact structure, guys.
All right. I'm still going to use it in italics as I ask the next question. What is the enduring appeal of a hot dog over other sandwiches?
Well, I think there are multiple factors there, David. I think for most of us, we started on hot dogs. Our unwitting parents allowed us to have these amalgams of tubed meat at early stages in our lives when our palates were underdeveloped. And so there's a nostalgia factor to this in that hot dogs always taste a little bit like childhood, no matter where you go. Then there is, of course, the lack of expense and the fact that it is, in fact, a flavor explosion. It is meat on meat on meat on grease on meat on salt, right? That is the party. And
I'm doing the math there, and yeah, that's correct. Let me ask you this though, Brent Holmes.
Yeah.
When do you crave a hot dog most?
So, David, once it starts getting hot out, I will go through from July until late September, a kind of period of time in which once at least monthly, I just want a hot dog. I just need a hot dog. If we're anywhere near the 4th of July, something in my brain, some kind of Pavlovian response to all of the barbecues of my youth begins to bubble up. And that's where my hot dog desires kind of begin. I never want a hot dog around Christmas. Let's put it at that, right?
Now that you mention it, it's, and our summers go on beyond, right? Like a Las Vegas summer, technically, in my mind, goes all the way till Halloween.
Yeah. We can do summer all the way until Halloween. And I've done an 85-degree Halloween, which is not pleasant if you have a costume.
Right. So that's when the craving hits. It's hot out. You want something fast and maybe a little salty.
I'm a degenerate and fully admitted degenerate in that, I will go to somewhere that's thoughtfully prepared hot dogs that are kind of a little upscale, like Bulldoggies, which is a Korean hot dog restaurant here in Las Vegas, or just stumble into the 7-Eleven in a fugue steak and get one off of their nightmare rotating fuel that looks like, a desiccated mistake.
The rollers.
Yeah.
All right. So Brent, apart from movie theaters and 7-Elevens, God help us, walk us through your favorite hot dogs around the valley. I mean, what's your favorite hot dog in Las Vegas?
I already mentioned Bulldoggies, but I'll mention them again. They've got Korean fusion hot dogs. They're, really wonderful at making a kimchi hot dog, a
Mhm.
bulgogi hot dog. These are great flavors. Their price comes in at around $10. They're up on Fort
Ooh.
Apache and Sahara. That is high for a hot dog. I agree, but they are fully loaded sandwiches. So let's start the list there. Not too far from bulgogi's is Windy City Beefs, which they do a great Chicago style hot dog, which is going to come on like a poppy seed bun with some sliced tomatoes, some pickles, and some pickled peppers. And that's really that Midwestern Chicago, Illinois classic style hot dog, which is indicative of the whole region. It's a little spicier. It's a little sweeter. You can get it with relish too. I don't like relish. I'm not gonna lie. I've never really understood the sweet relish. The sweet relish, I don't understand. Anyway, they do really great, really authentic hot dogs. Like I said, Lake Mead in Buffalo, and they're about $7.25, $7.50 a hot dog with fries, which is a lot more affordable.
And you hear Chicago style. I mean, I think that there are other cities associated with a hot dog style per se, and I want to go over those with you. But Chicago seems to be the one that's most prevalent. Like people are most proud of having Chicago dogs.
Well, Chicagoans are just a proud folk, you know what I mean? And you can do like, as cliche as it is, Nathan's hot dogs are an authentic New York style hot dog stand, and America would not have the popularity of hot dogs were it not for the city of New York. So, big ups. And that's going to be your relish, your onions. And you can get one of those between $5 and $7 usually if you're.
Is there a Nathan's stand in Las Vegas?
There's one in New York, of course. And they're going to be a little pricier because they're in a strip casino. But yeah, you can go over to Nathan's, get your standard New York style hot dog. It's kind of a glorious thing too. But
and I think my eye has spied, although I never stopped, at a Nathan's in one of the terminals over at Harry Reid Airport.
I never want a hot dog before I get on an airplane, but that's just my digestive system.
That's a good point.
You
and me too.
Up to the individual, but I don't want to be trapped in a plane for more than an hour if I'm digesting that. So, spreading from the Midwest, here's the thing. The Chicagoans are incredibly proud of their hot dogs, but I think Chicago hot dogs have been consistently beat by the Coney Island dog. And strangely enough, that is not from New York. Those are from Detroit. And we have one official Coney Island dogs franchise from Detroit, Michigan on Fremont Street at the D.
Yeah.
And they're great. They put ground beef. They got raw onions on your hot dog. They have the really nice intestine casings on the hot dog. And I know that doesn't matter to most people or might even gross you out. But to a hot dog connoisseur, the intestine casings come with a little snap when you bite into the dog that differentiates it from almost any other hot dog you're going to get. And that's really special and magical. And I think those dogs are, I think, around $8 to $10 the last time I checked. You got to go down to Fremont.
So pricey for a hot dog. I mean, I'm thinking of Costco. Sometimes I'll get that urge at Costco if I'm there and we're doing all the shopping and one of us waits in line and the other goes and gets a couple of $2 dogs.
Dude, the Costco hot dogs are full on the wiener, right? They are the wiener of wieners.
Yeah, come on.
It's $1.50. You can't beat the Costco dog.
All right. So outside of Costco, what's our next destination in you were talking about the Coney Island spot that Derek Stevens, a famous Detroiter, has brought to our community.
Yeah, I would say let's take a mild deviation here, David, and just bring up another Korean-influenced hot dog trend, which would be the Korean corn dog or potato dog, where they coat a full hot dog in potatoes, deep fry it, cover it with insanity, and anything from hot Cheetos to mayonnaise to just a ton of different sauces. And they're delicious and wonderful. And is a corn dog a hot dog? I don't know, but I don't care. A hot dog is still
a sandwich?
Thing.
Is a corn dog a sandwich?
A corn dog is not a sandwich. A corn dog is not a sandwich. It is officially not a sandwich.
It's encased in fried dough. A corn dog is a hot dog in disguise, basically.
Yeah. It's a hot dog with a little extra. I don't think it's trying to fool anyone. I think it's just the Crunchies hot dogs are great. They're also relatively inexpensive. You can get one that's stuffed with cheese if you're just not eating meat, right? For like $3, which is pretty incredible.
Love that.
And you can get the big potato-y ones for about $6, $5.50 or so. And that's a pretty good price for something that
And
although
what's this
not
place
completely
called?
filling. Oh, Crunchies, and we got one over in Shanghai Plaza, like on Arville and Spring Mountain, right there. So going to like regional, we've kind of done the East Coast, the Midwest. Korean dogs are a mystery that like flew in from overseas, but I want to get to this West Coast vibe, right? And the first stop is like kind of the Los Angeles dog, right? Which two places, Dirt Dog, which has like multiple locations on the Strip and at Allegiant Stadium, has that kind of like Americana West Coast hot dog. But for my taste, I like Sammy's pastrami over on Tropicana and Eastern, who have a little stand there, and they do their hot dog, and then they load it up with pastrami, which you would think was an East Coast thing, but really is a Los Angeles invention. So, last but never least is my favorite hot dog of all time, which is the Sonora dog, which I grew up calling it the danger dog because you'd usually get one at about 2 a.m. After a long night of drinking, and you were in danger. The danger dog or Sonora dog is like a Southwest legend, and personally the best hot dog, in my opinion, in these United States. It's bacon wrapped. It comes in kind of a specialized over buttery, almost roll kind of bun typically, and then it's loaded with hot chilies, onions, sometimes chorizo, sometimes asada, guacamole, sour cream, and ketchup and mustard.
Living in harmony.
Yes, all living happily in harmony. The melting pot finally realized on a great steaming tube of offal, which is exactly what America should be. And it's very regionally Southwest. It's very Arizona, California, Nevada.
So really just a canvas dog upon which people paint all the other foods.
Yes, but yes and no. It is definitely the hot dog. It is also bacon wrapped, which is, that was always the greatest innovation to me in the Sonoran dog, was that they were like, there wasn't quite enough pork on this. Let's add pork to the pork. And I always thought that deserves a round of applause, right?
So the Sonoran dog, the key seems to be the bacon wrapped, but then it's just build your own adventure on top of that.
Yeah.
And it's here in Vegas.
You can get one in Vegas. You can get one. And my favorite place to go get them really is like from, food carts late at night that are like in, you turn up parking lots or like outside of a quinceañera spot or just on a corner from one of these street vendors. But to give you like a brick and mortar option, because those places are kind of a little more difficult to know when they're going to be open. They don't post hours, so on and so forth. They change locations sometimes. Las Vegas Boulevard and Cary, there's Taco Ye Hot Dog Sonora. And they've got a Sonora dog for $6.49, that's bacon wrapped, and a chili dog for $8.75. And those are going to be really solid Sonoran dog choices too.
Are there carts that you see in a static location that you recommend? Or is it worth just the risk?
Can I recommend? There is a cart on Nellis and Vegas Drive at a tire shop that does not even have a name written on it, that has been there for years, that I will go to whenever I'm on that side of town and buy one of their dogs. And it is still my favorite hot dog, Sonoran dog certainly, in Las Vegas, but far away, preferable to almost everything else. And if I got the cross streets wrong, just know this: you can cruise around Nellis.
Because who doesn't want to cruise around Vegas Boulevard in Nellis in the middle of the night looking for a hot dog, allegedly?
Hey, listen, it takes guts to treat your guts that poorly. And but it's a wonder. And the later you eat one of those, the happier you are in those scant moments before you go to bed and then wake up in the morning with a stomach ache.
Well, it's always the fun of Vegas before the consequence of Vegas, for sure. Well, let me ask you this. What do you think about hot dogs in bars as sort of like, the snack food while you're drinking your beers or your whiskey or whatever? Rebar comes to mind. That was one of their first food offerings before they went to the bigger menu at Davies.
Yeah, but Davies still has the hot dogs on lock, right?
Oh, yeah. No, they absolutely do.
I love hot dogs on bars. I mean, come on, this is going to like deep cut hot dog heritage. We're talking like sauerkraut and German style hot dogs, right? In beer halls, right? And that's always that's always a thing of beauty. I love those, but I don't go to a lot of bars, David, regrettably or thankfully.
Because the one that I'm thinking of, Jive Turkey, their Chicago dog is kind of my fave. I'll go in there and I'll just get that nice little slightly spicy treat, wash it down with a nice beer. To me, that's kind of like, outside of a baseball stadium, it's almost a natural to just, if you're in a bar that's not like more elevated food, although Jive Turkey kind of walks that line between elevated and accessible common people food, the common man's food.
David, where's Jive Turkey? I've never been to Jive Turkey.
Oh my God, I'm turning you on to a
put me on.
New bar. It is just north of Charleston on Maryland in the old Mahoney's music space.
Oh, cool. Oh, glad something went down there. Okay.
Popular.
Right.
Yeah, popular too.
The kids like it? The kids like it?
The kids like it. All right, a real quick rapid fire for you, Brent. Just give me the answer really quick. Ready?
Yep.
Mustard or ketchup?
Mustard.
Do brats count?
Yeah, pretty much. If it's on a bun and you're going to load it with sauerkraut and some onions and mustard, then it's pretty much a hot dog. I wouldn't say that, but most of the time, if you find a hot dog place or a place that specializes in hot dogs, a brat's not too far away, right? It's within arm's reach. So yeah, I'll give it to you. Brats can come in the door on the hot dog hunt.
Beef dog or pork dog?
Beef. I like the flavor better. I think there's a little more depth of flavor there.
The term glizzy, are we in favor of it or against it?
I love the kids. I'm not going to decline on their thing. Do I say glizzy? No, you're not going to hear me say, let me get one of them glizzies unless I'm trying to be ironic or offend my 14-year-old in some way.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it on a TikTok that floated by, and apparently it's a DC thing.
Yeah, I don't understand where it really descends from, but if the kids want to call hot dogs glizzies, that's fine. I respect their choices.
Last rapid fire.
Okay.
Can a hot dog be too fancy so it becomes antithetical to the whole ethos of hot doggery?
I don't believe that hot dogs have ethical or political or sociological constraints. A hot dog can be as elegant and overdressed as it wants. There's a foie gras hot dog at the Link at the Hout Doggery, and I have yet to taste it, but I'll go in. I'm perfectly happy seeing two types of diced up preserved meat combined together despite their clear class disparity, and the same, if you want to put gold leaf and caviar on a hot dog, just make sure it tastes good. I don't really care.
I'll walk around the circle at a Aviators game until I see they have so many different hot dog offerings, but when I see something that says beef brisket hot dog, I don't even care. I'm in. Yeah. So yeah, I'll spend the $12 because I'm not too fancy. Well, Brent Holmes has been a hot dog of a time. Hot diggity dog. Thanks for joining us today on CityCast Las Vegas. David, thank you for letting me come on and talk about tube meat. It's a real pleasure and a point of satisfaction for me.
That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend? Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our free morning newsletter as well. And don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor at membership.citycast.fm/Las Vegas. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Until then, though, take care.